Ready?
Hit it.
Action.
Guys, episode 49. Today we got DJ Sutera.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's start off with the basics. Who are you?
Okay, I'm DJ Sutera. I'm a guy.
Cool. Give us a little background.
Yeah, so mortgage lender, based out of Westchester.
Yeah.
We're actually right on Route 3 right now, and I'm a 5-minute drive from you guys.
That's awesome.
Just outside downtown. Working with family. It's a family production here. And we've been in business for over 40 years when you include my uncle.
Wow.
I've only been doing it about 5.
Yeah.
So I'm bottom of the totem pole in the family, but it's a beautiful thing, and I've learned from the best.
Nice.
Been doing business in the local area here in Southeast Pennsylvania, licensed in all the surrounding states and Florida. We work for a national company, so we can lend anywhere in the country.
So you can pick up anybody anywhere, technically, in the country.
Anybody, anywhere, anytime.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's the work stuff. How much do you want to know about me?
Well, I mean, let's see. I don't know. I mean, you got where'd you go to school? I think you went to a
Penn
pretty good
State.
school. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we are.
How did you get into the business? Was it like always the plan? Like, because you obviously aren't that old.
Yeah, it was not the plan. It was not the plan, but life takes you in all curves and bends and bounds. So COVID threw me for a loop. I was in live events at the time.
Okay.
And so then overnight, no live events.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had to figure that out. I was looking around for any opportunities. No one was hiring because the world was freaking out.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, the interest rates, the residential interest rates were at an all-time low. Mm-hmm. So my family, my uncle and my cousin who I work with, they're like, they can't even keep up because everyone's asking them for refinances. The whole economy was like just blowing up in housing.
Yeah.
So they look at me trying to find my next step in life, and they're like, yo, if you got a pulse and you can talk to people, please.
Yeah.
We need help.
Yeah.
And so it was trial by fire, immediately jump in the deep end, and it's been great, man. I never thought that I would like it as much as I do. And it's really given me like a sense of like helping people in the community in a way I never thought I would, and it's been great.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So I take you as being that kind of amplifies it even more. Having been in the business for only 5 years, you look like you found a decent amount of success so far.
Yeah, thanks to my family.
Yeah. Well, so that's a good thing. What is the thing that you're good at? Like, what sets you apart from the average lender?
Emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dive a little deeper on that.
I can read people well.
Okay.
I know how it feels, what they're feeling. Trying to navigate tough situations and talk through it. And I care about people, and like, it's so simple when you break it down like that. Right. But I think other lenders, with all of their intentions, they're really busy. They get caught up in the numbers, and you lose sight of what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Okay.
And for these people who are just your clients trying to make a purchase, this is a big deal for them. And if you lose sight of that, you're gonna lose your edge, in my opinion.
Do you find yourself in having somewhat found like a niche within lending, like as to a type of buyer that you tend to have a trend with, or?
First-time home buyers.
You deal with a lot
for
of that?
several reasons. Yeah, it's my age bracket. I've got a lot of peers that are purchasing right now or like recently purchased, so I'm either refining them or like upgrading their housing situation.
Yeah. I can see that emotional intelligence probably really comes in handy when you're dealing with first-time buyers.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. They need the hand-holding. They need the extra explanations and making sure that they feel comfortable every step of the way. That's really what I pride myself on doing for these clients. But I'll work with anybody, you know? Like, I've worked with retirees and everybody in between.
No, you also seem like you're very knowledgeable. I tend to run into that, like, when I do talk with lenders, a lot of them are very knowledgeable, but you seem to really be, don't take it not as a bad thing, but you kind of like seem like you nerd out on it a little bit.
I do like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I watch some of your videos, I'm like, wow, he knows his shit.
Yeah, thanks.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, what'd you go to school for? Was that something that translated into this business?
Finance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I studied finance.
Cool. Yeah. So this is your lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
cool.
the stuff I studied in school was a lot more complex than what I'm doing right now. But the underwriting guidelines and stuff, you can nerd on that all day.
So this podcast, for anybody who doesn't know, like we bring people on in and around the real estate industry, a lot of realtors, but lenders and other people as well. And I think the goal is to provide value and provide some education and maybe some tips that people can apply in their businesses. Yeah. So I want to dive in first and take it in a direction where we can hopefully provide some valuable insights for realtors themselves.
Okay.
So what's the biggest mistake that you see realtors making before they even loop in a lender?
I'm not a part of that conversation, but an easy answer to this would be setting unrealistic or inaccurate expectations.
Okay.
If you're, as a realtor, quoting the rate, there's a problem.
Okay.
You don't know the rate.
Yeah.
You may have just gotten it this morning. Fine. So you could give them an idea. But please don't say you're going to get this rate.
So if that's the problem or a problem, what's your best advice to combat it?
So I literally just was having this conversation on the way here. It's heavily dependent on your specific lending profile as a person, like your financial profile. Everyone's got a different risk level to lend to, and it really is person specific. So your credit score, your debt to income ratio, your loan to value on the house, how much are you putting down? Mm-hmm. Those are the three main things that are going to affect your interest rate. But then you've got different loan programs that will also fluctuate the interest rate and the financing costs. So it's person specific. And I'll get people asking well, so-and-so got this rate. It's but so-and-so's got an 800 credit score and put 50% down and the debt to income ratio is minimal. You're not that,
right.
So just trying to set expectations in a realistic way. I think it's better for the lender to talk numbers.
Right.
Please let us talk numbers.
I don't know if you know, I used to be a realtor. Years ago, I had my license. I never had any interest in doing your job or any. So I was talk to them, so that was just get them involved as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. But is it a combination of hey, can realtors, aside from that, is there a way that realtors can get more educated about that? Or is it just stay in your lane and get the lender involved?
I think it's great when somebody wants to learn about it and try to understand it and speak the language, but you still should let the lender do their job.
Okay.
I'm not talking to somebody about the aspects of the house.
Right.
And I wouldn't try to. Because frankly, I'm just looking at photos online.
Yeah.
Walking the property is different than just looking at it online. Just like me looking at somebody's credit report is different than you just thinking what they could get in an interest rate.
Okay.
It's the same kind of thing.
What is something over the course of a transaction that an agent may do unintentionally that makes deals harder? Just
not checking in with me.
Okay.
Making decisions and not realizing that it could affect the lending part.
Okay.
So negotiating seller credits, moving settlement dates, negotiating things around inspection reports, mm-hmm. and then drawing up contractual agreements around that. There's art to handling negotiations in every aspect of it, and we are a part of that. We should be a part of that consideration. Because if you want it to go smooth, please check in with me, and I will advise on how I have to look at it.
Right.
And then you can formulate the game plan.
So once a transaction's underway, it's kind of make sure the lender's involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before that too.
Yeah.
There are certain programs where we have to require inspections.
Okay.
Let's make sure we're on the same page about that. Because if you place the offer waiving all inspections and it gets accepted, and then you got to backtrack and be hey, sorry, that septic system, we got to inspect it. Mm-hmm. Seller's going to be well, that's not what we agreed to.
Yeah.
And that could kill it.
How do buyers actually think about interest rates? And what do maybe agents not understand about that?
I think a lot of people think it's more simple than it is. Like, I think it's, and it kind of used to be like this in the old days where like they post an interest rate and that was the rate for the day. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the rate for the week. And that's just not the case. Yeah. You know, like we love the steady Eddie rates where we can just quote a rate and like that's their rate the entire time as they search for the home. Like that's great. It sets easy expectations. You know, it's not varying anyway, but that really hasn't been the case almost my entire career. You know, like day to day, the rates are changing. Yeah. So that's one thing. Also, a lot of people think that just because the Federal Reserve cuts the rate, that the mortgage rate is doing the same thing. Yeah. It's not the case at all.
How much does that rate actually have to move at the federal level to put a dent in the rates that people are getting on their mortgages?
Why don't I put it in context? Okay. Right. So the Fed has dropped the rate from its highs over 100 basis points now, right? So I think they did a 50-point cut and 2 25s. You don't fact check me on that.
I think you're correct.
Don't quote me on that, okay? Yeah. But call it 100 bips. Mm-hmm. If you're thinking about that in terms of an interest rate, does that mean you're going from 7 to 6? Mm-hmm. A lot of people think that, but that's actually not the case. Bips are like built into an interest rate, but it's not one for one where 100 bips is a full percentage point. Right. But so call it 100 bips. At the high, we were at, call it, actually, I had one point where I was quoting like high 7s. I wrote an 8% interest rate loan one time, and now we're sitting at like 6.5. Yeah. Ish. Yep. Low 6. As far as just to give context for that, the problem is that there's so many more factors that are more important to mortgage lending. Mm-hmm. Like we look at the CPI, Consumer Price Index, inflation, essentially, inflation report. We look at the job report. Those are like the two main things. The manufacturing report sometimes comes into play more than I ever thought it would. These are like longer term, more economic reports that are more important to mortgage analysts. And so you'll see when those reports come out, they actually move the needle. I hope that answers your question.
I think pretty much for the most part. I think, no, I think because people always think like, oh, they get excited when the Fed's talking about dropping rates.
Right. They're like, whoa, my rate's dropping 0.25%, right? Yeah. Like, no. Yeah. No. That's not how this goes.
But even at 8%, so I guess this is going to be kind of like, advice or information like I guess a buyer could take too, but also I guess an agent can look at it like, hey, maybe this is, something they can use. People like even at 8%, right? When you're talking about like my parents' generation, probably your parents' generation, like they're not that high. Now I know, but things are more expensive, right? Yeah. But are buyers often, in your experience, often closer than they think they are to being able to pull off buying a house?
Yeah, well, there's levels to it, but I think so. I'm always optimistic. Like, can we make something work? If we can't, cool, we'll get you there. Yeah. Right? If you want it and you can't have it right now, let's help you get there.
In like the most extreme case, how far out do you start working with a buyer to help get them to the point where they can buy a house?
Generally, I'm saying earlier the better we run a file. Okay. It's almost like, I'm not this important as if I'm a doctor, but like, the sooner you get checked out by somebody, the sooner you can become healthy. The sooner you have me build a file for you, the sooner we know you're on the right track towards homeownership, whether that's right now or later.
So are you talking like 6 months, a year, longer than that? What are you talking?
Yeah, 6 months would be great. Yeah. Yeah, 6 months would be great. A year, like you've got plenty of time there. There's no rush for us to build it at that point, but it'd be great to have that runway. Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you, like, give me a good example of a success story where somebody came in and they were like a total shit show. Yeah. And you were able to help them get squared away and get them into a house.
Yeah, and so this is many clients over the years. I shouldn't say many, but like a couple handfuls over the years where, they come to me. They either have horrible credit or no savings or both. Or, just the job that they're working is not going to meet their goals. And I'll advise on how we have to look at everything from a mortgage perspective. I try to there's no judgment. There's no I'm not telling you what to do with your life. It's just, this is how we look at things from the mortgage perspective, right? So the job you're working now, this is how we look at it. If you were to get a job like this is how we would look at it. So do you want to go that route? If you do, you might get a better house.
Okay.
Same with credit.
Do you have a specific story that stick with you where you were maybe it was fulfilling coming to the end of that one?
Yeah, a bunch. I've had a point where I've had two deals where they actually took my advice and just got new jobs.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And they were like, "You're right. Let's do this. This is more important." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. This is your I will make whatever work, but that's great." Success stories with credit, just building up credit over time, whether it's with my advice. I look at credit reports all day. I can advise to an extent, but if it's more in depth, I pull in a specialist.
Okay.
And so as long as you're diligent, over time, you're going to improve. And I've seen that go from, high 400 credit scores into the qualifying ranges for mortgages, and they buy the house and get access to assistance money and all kinds of good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had that happen several times, more than several times. The thing is, I'm talking about the success stories, but that's out of hundreds and hundreds of people that I talk to.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a small percentage.
I think that's a good segue into this next thing, talking about the relationships that you have with realtors, right? That's one of the biggest relationships. They're always talking about, hey, relationships matter in this business, but it does, but probably one of the closest working relationships they're going to have with anybody.
100%.
What does a good partnership with a realtor look like versus one that's not operating as it should?
Yeah, trust. Just to boil it down to one word is trust. Trust that if you pass somebody over to me, they're going to be well taken care of. They're not going to skip a beat. They're going to understand what's going on. I am competitive with any lender out there. I've got every product that exists, literally, which is overwhelming sometimes. Mm-hmm. But we have an answer to everything. If you can legally get a mortgage, we got you.
Okay.
Yeah. But trust. So that's important, and just good communication back and forth. There's never hesitation to touch base.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Can you give me a few things that are maybe realtors don't think to talk to a lender that can help them out? Maybe it's not even transaction specific, but maybe a few areas that you can provide value to them over the course of them growing their business.
I work with agents who are just starting out. They're green as can be. And then I work with agents who have been in the business longer than I've been alive, and everything in between. And any of those types of people can learn, because the market is always changing and lending guidelines are always changing to the point where I even have to check up on myself all the time to make sure I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So no one's going to know everything, but just learning about what's out there is a good thing. So I try to make a point to share, some of the new guidelines or programs that are out there, just so they can take it and run with it. Just at least know that it exists. Because that's something where if you know it exists, it can come up in a conversation or at least a thought in your head when you're talking to a potential client. The easy stuff is the first-time home buyer programs, right? Hey, we have assistance programs for you. You might not need as much savings as you think you do, right? You don't need 20% down. You could be putting down 3.5%, or 0, depending on the program, plus the assistance. That's an easy one. But bridge loans for people who own their current home and want to go buy their next home, right? Maybe they don't have any savings. So they're like, oh, how do I get the money for the down payment on the next home? Bridge loan. Boom. We're going to bridge that. You're going to sell your home, pay off the bridge loan, and it's all wiped clean after that, and you're just left with the upgraded home.
Okay.
That we do all the time. Seller guarantee. Like if we have, well, this is going to be a longer, I'll try to keep it short. But like seller guarantee, for a particular setup, we can do a pre-commitment. It's a step above a pre-approval where we're doing full underwriting on the client ahead of placing an offer. It's a great thing. Gives the client an edge in a competitive situation. If we have that in place, we've got a seller guarantee where if we miss the settlement date because of something that we're doing,
right,
our company will write a check up to $25,000 to the seller for reparations that they had taken on for having missed that settlement date. It's our way of trying to compete with cash offers because cash is king, and if you're financing, the cash offer is always going to look better,
right,
or at least to an extent. So we're trying to compete with that seller guarantee. If people just know that exists, that's ammunition for us.
Mm-hmm.
So,
cool.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, very good one. I'm trying to shout that out. Take some notes. All right.
Bill for the camera over here.
Yeah.
All right. So here's one. So I had a realtor that I was, doing what I do. I shoot the shit with the realtors all the time, and they probably tell me more sometimes than they probably should. But anyway, but lips are sealed, but, with details. But the situation was that they had a deal. It was, moving forward, and then at the last minute, the buyer kind of mucked up the works because they, couldn't leave well enough alone and saw an online lender that had this rate that they wanted to get. But the thing was that, I've also talked to lenders that will say that you get what you pay for while the rate's lower. There might be other hiccups in there. Mm-hmm. Is the lower rate always the best thing, and kind of explain why it might not be?
Mm-hmm.
And then also, how should it be to, up to in that situation, should the realtor be trying to provide that education, or should it be you because now you're dealing with a competing offer that they want to go with?
Yeah, I think it's nice to hear it from both parties as a client. Your realtor is going to know, should know these things to an extent, and then the lender hits it home. As soon as, and the realtor is always going to have a closer knit relationship with the client. A realtor's talking to that client every day, all day, trying to find new listings, understanding what they want in a home, what features do they like and not like. It's way more intimate for the realtor than it is the lender, usually. So the second the realtor catches whiff of them thinking that they're going to hop on bankrate.com and start searching online lenders, it would be nice to have that initial perspective from the realtor saying hey, look, a lot of what you're seeing on that bankrate.com is not going to be how they present it. It's a marketing tactic, right? They just want to get your application in so that they can get you into the funnel, say yes, 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 and then eventually you'll find out what you're actually getting. They try to hide that as long as possible.
What are some of the things that are not as you were hoping they would be when you find those? What are some of the things that do change?
Costs.
Okay.
Costs, because
so fees
a lot of
and
people,
stuff?
Yeah, because a lot of people just look at the rate, but then they don't look at the costs. And there's a lot of ways to make the costs look a certain way, unfortunately. I like to be completely transparent and show the client what they could be paying. And a lot of times I'm overestimating a little bit because I would rather have it that way where we're trimming away the fat later than having to add costs at the end.
Okay.
Right? So I think it's a better way to be doing business. But if you're going apples to apples with a bankrate.com offer, you're going to see trimmed down costs. You're going to maybe see a lower interest rate, but nothing's locked, nothing's set in stone. All of that can change. And the client doesn't realize that there's a lack of integrity in that. Whereas I'm trying to give you the real deal. And it's it's a shame because, yeah, it's like shiny object syndrome. You're like, ooh, yeah, like lower rate, less cost. Yes, yes, yes. But you're also just a number of these people, you know, because you're one of how many people that are going like, ooh, yeah, give me the shiny thing. And then they filter you down, and they purposefully don't disclose everything until they absolutely have to, because they want you to feel like you're in too deep by the time that they're giving it to you.
Right. Is it always the case that when you finally do get the transparency from the online lender that there's always something you weren't thinking of, and then it's either the same or worse, or is it possible that they do find something better online?
They can. When it comes down to it, you can always find something cheaper. Always. Seriously. I mean, if you're like a hard shopper, right, you're going to find the person that says yes eventually and means it. And it's just a matter of finding somebody who's willing to lose some money on the deal.
What is the value, aside from the numbers, what value does working with somebody like you that they can meet for coffee if they want to?
Yeah, well, that was the other side of the coin that I wanted to get to, because yes, I understand like everyone likes to look at the finances, and there's that whole dynamic of, are you going to be upfront and quote accurately and fairly, or are you going to be misleading and blah, blah, blah. But then what I was kind of hinting at was like, are you a number or are you a person? And that really is important too, because I am individually licensed, whereas with these larger, more online lenders, like who you talk to, usually they're not even individually licensed. They don't even know the guidelines. They're just there to tell you yes. Yeah. Right? Just get in the funnel. Yeah. Whereas with me, like, yeah, to your point, like I could meet you for coffee whenever. But the ethos behind that is that you're a person and I care about you and I need to make sure that this deal goes through for you and that you're comfortable throughout the process. Right. That's what matters. Mm-hmm. And understanding the guidelines matters. Yeah. You know, like, so I can't tell you how many deals I've had to save from Zillow Home Loans. Sorry, man, throwing you under the bus, Zillow, because seriously, you suck. But it's not all their fault. They're too big for their own good, and they are too busy, and there's nuances to files that you need a little bit more time to understand. Yeah. And they just have too much to handle. Right. Whereas I don't. Like I'm not switching file to file to file to file all day. You know, like these guys, like, power to them. I wouldn't even want to do what they're doing. Right. But it gives me an edge to make sure that every file goes through smoothly. Cool. Yeah. So like, you know, like the biggest one is working 2 jobs, right? If you're working 2 jobs, yeah, you're making more income, but can we look and qualify both income streams? Okay. Sometimes not. Okay. And if you talk to the wrong person, they're going to say yes, yes, yes. Fair enough. Yeah.
All right. I want to shift over to business-related stuff, just business in general a little bit. So are you guys similar to Realtors in that, like, under the banner that you work, that you're essentially running your own business?
Yes.
So having been in it for 5 years, were you just, great at it right off the bat? How did it get started? What'd you do to get yourself going?
So it was kind of perfect, okay? Like, I was bottom of the totem pole with my family starting off on their team. The business was so busy because of the rates being low that they couldn't even handle all of the business that that was coming into them. So I was getting the crumbs, and the crumbs were good. Like, those are big crumbs, filling crumbs. You know,
that's good.
Yeah. Like maybe a slice of a loaf, you know, not even crumbs. So it was great for me to learn the ropes, learn how to get a deal done, start to close, get the feet under me, and learn all of the guidelines and everything. And there were years of just that before understanding the back end and running our own lemonade stand, you know, like sure. Money in versus money out, how to reduce the cost, how to increase the profit, all of that, which we're very much in now. Yeah. You know, we're looking at it from a higher perspective than in the weeds and like the normal day to day, at least a little bit, but that is the goal. is to run a good branch and to grow.
Okay.
Because as we've been growing, thank God, it's been really great to be able to do more and help more people and reinvest into the business. And it took time to not only get a network and a true business rolling for myself, but then to grasp all of those business dynamics of how to run the business and how we can grow it.
Okay.
And I'm still just scratching the surface on it. Like I understand like the basics, but there's a lot more to do. And I'm really excited about where this is going.
The most important things you're doing right now that's bringing you growth.
Relationships. Seriously, just being available, being that guy, answering the phone, helping people to the best of my ability. That's it. When you boil it down, being available, being nice, and trying to do the best you can.
Now, relationships, I mean, obviously something you have to, cultivate once you've created it, but how are you going about creating them initially? Like, what are you doing to start these relationships?
I'm kind of being a creep online.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm that guy shooting you the DM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Or like on the listing side, when we close a deal, like I'm calling you up after the deal. Hey, it was really great working with you. Thank you for your trust. Would love to work with you on the buy side if you're ever doing that.
Okay.
Like I'm always available. Let me know how I can help or when. Here's some info on me.
Okay.
I'm out here doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the approach? Is it super like cookie cutter, like scripts that you're sending these DMs? Like, how do you approach that initial contact?
It's simple. It's just like, hey, I see you're running a good business out here. You care about your online presence. Would love to connect and see if I might be able to help you, or at least just talk shop. Are you open to hopping on a call or grabbing a coffee? That's more or less my script.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that goes from there. For you, what's the timeline from like, hey, obviously it doesn't always work, but like how much do you have to keep at it before actual piece of business number one is done with a lot of these people?
Yeah, it takes a while sometimes. Some people, if you catch them in the right time of their career, they're ready to rock. Or it just comes out of nowhere where like they know about you, we talk every now and then, quick DMs back and forth or something. All of a sudden, hey, cut ties with my lender. They messed up. You're my guy.
Yeah.
All of a sudden overnight. And then we're out here doing business. That'll happen sometimes.
Yeah. And I think where I'm getting at with that is like follow up. A lot of people, shoot their shot, doesn't work, and then they give up, and it's like things don't happen overnight, right?
Correct. Yeah. You want to try to provide value every step of the way. So like if you're reaching out, have something to talk about. Or like, like what I was mentioning with the new like if there's a new program, tell them about it, or like now I have more frequent events, like they get an invite to every event, right? Holidays is an easy one. Hey, happy holidays. I hope you're spending it with loved ones, thinking about you. Let me know if I can help. I'll be around all holiday season.
Cool.
Like things like that. That's easy. But yeah, the follow-up is key.
What is one thing you're not good at that is your mission for 2026 to get better at?
It's working with Virtual Vista, baby. It's that online presence. I've been saying it for too long where, I really wanted to get on YouTube. I wanted to do more long-form content and to have it properly, professionally chopped up and have a strategy. So like you're actually a huge part of my goals for next year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I think we're super excited about working with you because I don't know if you look at yourself as having the potential that we see, it's crazy.
Oh,
like
cool.
You're like you're hungry, but like you also got that personality. So it's going to be fun this year.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate that.
What's another goal of yours coming into the new year?
Well, we have a production goal, 100 mil.
Nice.
We hit 80 and we might even, we're going to check the numbers. We might crest over 85. We'll see if we can crest to 90. by the end of the year. We'll see. We might. But the goal is 100 as of right now, but we'll see where we come in at the actual end of the year, and then maybe we reassess. But like 100 mil, like, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting to even think
figures,
about
baby.
if we can get there. So yeah, but we were very, very happy to meet our production goal this year. So we'll figure out that. We want to be able to have the deal flow where we can hire on another loan officer.
Okay.
That would be great. And we've already started to take the steps towards that. We'll see if and how that materializes. But we're optimistic about that one. We've got a bullet in the hopper that he could be a real ace.
Yeah.
He's a friend, a good friend, and a good guy. And I think if all the circumstances play out right, that would be awesome. So growing the team in a little bit, I don't know, just to continue to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, helping more people.
So you guys actually have a plan, which is nice.
More or less, yeah. We've got like the bare bones plan. Yeah. I mean,
that's half the battle sometimes.
Seriously, I mean, we're really proud of what we did this year. Like we've got 2 assistants now, Jennifer and Sarah. Shout out, love you guys. They are amazing.
Yeah,
they're amazing, and now we have these ladies in place that make it possible to grow a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then if we kind of hit capacity on that, then we grow a little bit more. We bring in another staff member to help us out, and then we just keep inching up.
So you guys have set a nice foundation.
Yeah, thankfully we needed it. Yeah, because we were running around like chickens with no heads for a minute.
I think everybody starts there at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift over to the market a little bit. I mean, obviously nobody has a crystal ball. What are you seeing right now? What do you have a positive outlook for? I mean, I'm sure I know you have a positive outlook.
You know the answer.
but I mean, you know, for people in general, you know, whether it's the realtors, whether it's the buyers, like, is 2026 going to be a better year for people?
Yeah, it will be. Here's my thoughts on it. So first off, inventory has been increasing. And that's been a real problem. Like the main issues of what this industry has brought the people who haven't purchased yet who wanted to is inventory. The demand for housing is way higher than what's available. And so that's been a rough patch for a lot of people who just haven't gotten it done, or they feel like they're overpaying or something, right? So that is continually getting better. The inventory is getting better. Things are shaking up. People are realizing that interest rates aren't going anywhere fast, and they're starting to just get with the program and be like, all right, look, like we still need this house, right? Like we still have a space problem. We have another kid on the way. We're going to pop out of this place, you know? So like that those issues are always going to be there and force the execution of that plan. And that'll continue. Now everyone is talking about interest rates coming down, and I think that they probably will. They will continue to trend downward, but I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, you know? Like, do we crest into the 5% range? Maybe.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think we will. But I don't know how long it's going to be of a stretch of that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the economy can afford it, to be honest with you. So I think, you know, because the administration has to refinance our national debt.
Right.
There's going to be a moment where they bring those rates down so they can do that, and I would hope, honestly, that they snap them back up. Yeah. Because we can't operate off of smaller rates.
It would superheat everything.
It would. We already have an affordability problem. We need to take time for wages from employers to pay their people more to catch up to the inflation. And I think it's going to continue to be an issue, but if we lower the rates, that issue gets way worse.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Okay, I'm a buyer, first-time home buyer.
Yeah.
Take me through the process from, hey, I decided I want to buy a house. I don't know if I can. I don't know any of this stuff from the lender's perspective.
Sure. Okay. So we look at 3 main things. We look at your credit scores, we look at your income, and we look at your savings. That's what matters. Okay. There's other little things that I'm going to be asking you about, but those are the three main things. So where are your credit scores? Do you know where your credit scores are? Do you owe people money? Let's take a look at that. Okay. Have you been paying your bills? All right. Like that's easy. Then we look at your income. What kind of income are you making? Are you self-employed? Are you W-2? You working overtime? You got commissions? Do you get bonuses? We're going to look at all that. How are you doing on savings? Right? Are you spending as much as you're making? Or you got a stockpile of cash? Let's talk about that. And where is it? What kind of accounts is it? Do you have a retirement fund? Is it a brokerage account? Is it checking savings? Is it crypto? Right? We'll talk about all that. And depending on where you stand with all of those things, I've got programs for a lot of different scenarios. So it's going to be a custom approach to help you. So just taking in all that info is the first step. So we'll do that all on the first call if you're comfortable with it.
Okay.
Right? I'm not going to run your credit on the first call, but I'll take in the information, build a file, collect your documents. We'll hop on a second call, talk through all of it, strategize, make sure you feel good about what's going on, review the options that you have if you have options. And then from there, you leave that conversation pre-approved.
Okay.
That's the most efficient way to do it, right? Okay. If you don't want to go through with a pre-approval, say your early stages, then we don't need to collect your documents. But I still recommend we do a full initial phone call and then have me build the file and hop on the second call to review everything.
Okay.
Yeah. But ideally, we get you pre-approved so that way you can place an offer on a home anytime. Once you're pre-approved, I write you that letter, you're good to go.
Okay.
So that's where you can start targeting homes that you're going to be comfortable with financially. Okay. It'll dictate your whole search.
Okay, let's say I talked to you first, didn't talk to a realtor. We get to that point, I'm feeling good, got my pre-approval. Can you help me out finding a good realtor?
No doubt. Yeah, I work with some of the best people in the area.
Okay, and then so you got me that pre-approval. Maybe you help me find a realtor. We're hunting around. We decide we have a house we'd like to make an offer on. So at that point, prior to making that offer, is it a touch base with you?
Yes, please.
Okay,
please.
And then what happens from there? Okay, we make offer's accepted. Then where do you come back in? At what point?
Yeah, so from there, I'm going to look through your agreement of sale, just make sure that I understand what's going on with it. I'll set up my file according to all the details on that, and then we're going to talk about next steps for the lending process. So you were pre-approved, but now you're going to fill out the mortgage application. So this is where you're now going into processing and underwriting. Okay. So we'll do another round of documentation collection. We'll get you into processing where my processor reviews all of the details of your file. They're going to, more fine-tooth comb it, ask for other things, fill all the gaps in that they can. Then it moves to underwriting where they do the same thing. Fine-tooth comb, maybe a couple more items. Cool. Clear to close after that, right? The big piece during that process that I just left out was the appraisal. We're going to run the appraisal, right? That's a big part of understanding the valuation of the home. I won't even get into inspections. I think that you could talk about inspections for a long time. And sometimes we're more or less involved with that anyway. So, but anyway, all that comes in. Underwriting clears it, clear to close. Depending on the circumstances, that can take any length of time. If we're on a nice pace, that might only be a couple weeks. If we've got a little bit more time, maybe a few weeks to a month.
Okay.
Just depends on the circumstances there. But once you have the clear to close, we're chilling. We're good to go. You got that house. We just need to wait till settlement day.
Okay.
Yeah. And then from there at settlement day, you just sign paperwork and you're good.
Okay. Now,
and bring a check.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds pretty simple, actually.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, but it's around the holidays. I just got a fat holiday bonus. I'm thinking about that new car that I wanted.
Ooh.
It was just So can I go buy that?
At what step in the process? After settlement, go for it, man. Yeah.
So once we've got the pre-approval and then there's all those steps that get to the clear to close and all of that, do I have to pretty much just maintain status quo during that process? Is that the optimal situation?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Try not to do anything with your credit. Use your cards as you do normally, right? But don't take on new credit. Don't close any credit.
Okay.
Right. Come to me first with that kind of thing, So like, it's not always a deal breaker to finance a car, right? But please check in with me just in case, because we might be operating at a high debt to income ratio for the home.
And it could put you over. Yeah. Okay. So basically no major moves.
No major moves.
Okay.
Or just ask.
Yeah.
Because like I get plenty of people that they do that and I have to like calm my nerves mid-call, like, please just give me all the details of the car. Let's just take a look at this real quick. And a lot of times it's a non-issue, but sometimes it is.
That's always that's always like the stereotypical like scenario that people joke about.
You're right.
But I had it happen to me within the first 3 months of having my license. Mm-hmm. I was like, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah. I've just had a woman leave her job the week before we went under contract. Yeah. Didn't tell anybody. And she's awesome. If you're listening, you're awesome. Love you. Like, we're getting you this house. It's going to be fine. But what a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please don't leave your job.
Yeah.
Keep the job.
I think that little segment in itself, if somebody's, hunting through YouTube and like, hey, what do I need to do to buy a house? Like, what's the process like? It's a pretty good explanation from the lender's end. Obviously cool. Hunting for the house is a different story, but it doesn't sound too crazy. And if they have somebody competent on the lending end.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think the lending side, the financial side is the part that people don't understand. So to try to make that simple and easy is important because people love the other part of it. Looking for the house, finding something they like, the great location, all the features. Like, that's the fun part of it. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to make sure that everything that people don't think is fun is smooth and easy so that you can go have fun.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's switch over into something a section a little more personal, right? So what motivates you on a daily basis? Doesn't have to be lending industry specific.
Yeah, my family is the biggest one. And helping people just better themselves financially.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's super cheesy, but it's real. Like the rewarding feeling that you get when you've brought somebody from start to finish in whatever circumstances they were in. Obviously, it's a little bit more rewarding if like you really helped bring them up to a part where now they could qualify. Mm-hmm. If they didn't before, like that's a huge win. That doesn't always happen, but it really is awesome, like being at the settlement table, huge smile on their face. They're so excited, so appreciative. It's awesome. But then also like doing right by my family, like I feel a sense of responsibility every day to make sure that we are doing great work and helping out my family. Mm-hmm. Like I have a huge sense of pride in that.
There's your motivation, but I'm sure you would say you have to work your ass off on a daily basis to find the success you're finding. Is that motivation enough to carry you through all the time, or do you have to employ discipline?
Well, you have to employ discipline for sure.
Well,
yeah.
But I mean, so what do you do? What are some things? Talk about discipline from your aspect. You look fit. I'm sure work out on a regular basis. What are some things you do in life that keep you disciplined, that keep you pushing through?
Okay. So, first off, I'm at a point now, thankfully, that my day-to-day calendar is routine. I don't even think about it. It's not a choice. It's just what's happening.
Okay.
And I love it. I like my day-to-day. I have goals to get outside of that day to day and like go experience things and like I like travel and stuff, like things like that. But my day to day, like it's set. Like I wake up, I don't care if I'm hungover or just not in the mood. Like that doesn't exist. Right. It's like, no, we're getting up. We're going to the gym. We're going to the office. We're going to stay at the office all damn day and try to reach as many people as I can.
Okay.
That's just what I do. And I need to tweak that a little bit, you know, like, and for the growth of my own life, as I build my own family, I will need to tweak that a lot a bit. But it's worked for me very well so far.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you have to use discipline. And I think it's hard when you first get started. And I think for a lot of people, they don't have that thing that is driving them. They're kind of just doing what people say is the right thing to do, which is a shame because it's like the opposite way to look at it. You know, like you should have something driving you. Like, what is the reason you get out of bed? For me, it's my family, but it could be anything for you, you know, and like trying to find that thing that like you really feel good about. It's a shame that a lot of people don't have it. I truly believe that, actually. It just sucks.
Dive down on your fitness routine and how important is that one of those pieces that if you didn't have it, things would start falling apart? Or is that just one of the building blocks? It's
so important. I do feel a little bit off when I haven't done something active that day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually like feel like greasy, you know?
Like, I think I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's like I like rubbed like a Chick-fil-A sandwich on my face or something. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I feel off when I don't work out. So like my regimen is I'm lifting 3 days a week and then I'm running the other days, and then sometimes I'll take a day off.
Okay.
All right, and then I always will try to have a challenge on the books, like some kind of race or something. So I've done a few years of doing a triathlon. I just did the Rocky Run, which is a half marathon. That was super fun. I'll try to sneak into the Broad Street Run, or, I always try to have something on the books. Like weekly I'll do, not so much right now. That routine has kind of fallen off, but Barry's Boot Camp.
What's that?
It's like a HIIT class, HIIT, in Philadelphia. They're great. And Jake White, awesome instructor. Shout out, you the man. Kicks my ass on those Saturday mornings. That's like a great, like, check yourself.
Okay.
It's like, this is actually where you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep yourself honest.
Did you ever did you ever let yourself get out of shape and have to get back into shape? Or are you kind of always pretty much been in shape?
Usually always pretty much in shape.
All right, so you're no help to these people. No, I'm just kidding. No,
I truly I don't feel right when I'm not working out. Yeah.
Probably around when this is getting released, it's going to be going into 2026. So we're going to be getting those New Year's resolutioners.
Yeah.
What would be a piece of advice you'd give to somebody who's like, I got to get my ass in shape?
Don't overdo it. Get the ego out of it.
Yep.
Yeah. Because you're going to feel good about lifting your first week, but if you overdo it, then you're so sore, and then you're not going to want to go the next week.
Okay.
The longevity of your fitness is really important. Like, get your ego out of it. Like, you go 85%, up to 85% most of the time, and then you'll have like maybe a couple weeks where you'll go 100, and then you bring it back down.
Cool.
Do not go 100 all the time. It's not healthy.
So for people who follow your content, and you should, do they make?
Yes, please.
Do they make Mustache De-Icer for those outdoor runs?
They should, huh? No, I kind of like it.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, we need more snow around. We need more icy stash.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Is there anything that maybe we didn't touch on that you would like to leave with the audience? Any topics or any advice or anything like that?
I came in with no agenda. This has been great. You're asking really cool questions. Thank you for it. Is there anything that you would want to cover on like the strategy that you see for what we're going to do? Or do we keep that a secret until it actually unfolds?
No. I mean, we can talk about that. Yeah. I mean, I think the strategy is kind of like we've kind of taken a look at what the people you want to reach. I think in your case, those relationships with the realtors are going to help you really get a foothold on, they've already got the buyers and sellers following them in a lot of cases. And it's not to say people couldn't come directly to you, but I think that's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
The people that you're looking at as potential partners, to really start touching them. And then just kind of, I don't think you're afraid of the camera by any means, which I think is a huge plus.
Yeah.
But just, starting to focus on, the details, like, what are your first 3 to 5 seconds, those type of things, and really start ripping those, because I honestly think, your personality, I think your attitude's freaking awesome. Nice. I think the personality's there, and I'm also one of the most exciting things about, starting to work with you is that I think you're pumped about it, and I think a lot of people, they like the idea of adding the social media piece and content creation, but they don't really build it into what they're doing. I think you're actually taking it seriously, and not everybody does. So I think that's one of the big pieces.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it and getting creative with it. Also being a little bit more intentional about how we're recording.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm very much looking forward to this. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I don't know what else, if anything.
We talked about the buyers, right? We talked about them. Is there anything in particular that we didn't? In general, it's easy. I don't think it's ever going to get to the point where they're like want to know as much as you do. It's not fun.
No, it's pretty boring a lot of times. Yeah.
If a new realtor is in the business, they're going to have their in-house lender, whoever that is.
Yeah.
In my past experience, when I had my real estate license, I wasn't too impressed with our in-house lender. So I had to go out and find a couple other people, to have in my back pocket.
Yeah.
What should they be looking for? You can go back to the trust, but maybe like if I'm going to call up a guy and maybe or gal and have a few questions for him, what should I be asking?
Yeah, that's a great one, because I really do make a point to try to make connections with new realtors. We'll go on full perspective here. I'll be as transparent on all of this, right? So unfortunately, in our industry, there's a ton of turnover, right? And especially the last few years, people have been dropping out of the industry like flies, right? So when you think about what that actually means in practicality of operating a successful business, is that you've got to be making new relationships all the time and trying to act like each one could actually end up being fruitful, even though there's an 80% chance likelihood that it won't. Mic drop. Showing actual interest in their success by offering your availability is everything. I will take your phone call. I will answer all your questions. There's no dumb questions. I want to help, because I know what it was like to not have a clue about how to do something. And thank God my family liked me enough to pick up the phone, and they would do it every time. And I would not have had the same success in those years if I didn't have that opportunity to learn from them. And so I always want to be that guy who picks up the phone. That's so important, because there's plenty of in-house lenders who they might be, towards the end of their career, or they just have other focuses, and they're not going to pick up your call because you're not the moneymaker for them. No. They've got better relationships, or they just don't want to be working as much. And so you asking all these green questions, it's not as attractive for them to entertain. No. Whereas with me, I want to try to help you. Yeah. So just that alone, just that ethos behind how I want to help and offer whatever resource I can is it. I think
you hit the nail on the head. My experience with that lender, my first buyer that I got my hands on when I had my license, I went to them and they were on the phone with this person for 5 minutes, and we're like, yeah, they can't do it. And I'm like, really? So I didn't know anything. So I talked to another guy that had just gotten licensed to be a loan officer at the time.
Yeah.
He was hungry. He's like, yeah, I'll make it happen. And he became my go-to guy when everybody else said no. He was the one that would go do what he had to get done and would get these people in houses. And that young lady did end up buying a house.
Nice.
And yeah, so I think that was important. I think, is it fair to say some good questions to ask would be, if you've had experience with other lenders and they weren't so great, to maybe like present a few scenarios and be like, hey, how would you handle this?
Yeah.
Or like, is this how it should be? Or, are you?
Yeah, totally. Sorry, I'd never even actually answered your question. That was like, what are some good questions to ask a lender? Yeah, totally. But a lot of these newer agents, at least, the more experienced agents, they could ask questions like that. But honestly, like the more experienced agents, they just want to catch a vibe.
Okay.
They see what I'm doing out here, like online, they've seen the name around, hopefully. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
They just want to see if like they feel like they could work together. Like, do they like me? Mm-hmm. Do they feel like they're comfortable calling me and like having a real conversation? Yeah. The newer agents, they don't even know what questions to ask. Sure. But that's a good one. So yeah, like given difficult what are some difficult situations that you've handled and how? That'd be a good question. Yeah. Or where do you see new agents trip up? They don't get right. Mm-hmm. Which answer, your time is the most valuable asset you have. Don't waste it. That's it. You take that into everything. Like, obviously do right by your clients and teach them as much as you can and make them feel comfortable and build rapport. But you could waste a lot of time running around with the wrong people.
Yeah.
And you want to try to eliminate that. So that's a big one. It's a game of numbers too. Like these are now the answers to the questions, sure. But it's a game of numbers. Like, you have to have as many conversations as you can. Mm-hmm. That's the game. Like, and you'll get better and better with every phone call or every conversation.
Yeah, 100%.
So like you need those reps, and early on you need to be joining a great team that's going to help bring in those conversations for you, right? Because you're going to run out of your network real quick. Like everyone says, text everyone in your phone right now. Sure, yeah, you could do that, right? But you're going to run out of those.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're the most popular guy on earth.
How can you help an agent grow? And one of the things that you hear a lot is, these realtors are like, this lender I use, they buy me leads, or they do this and they do that. Like, is that it? Like, is there other ways that you can do? Do you do that stuff? Do you have other ways that you can help an agent grow? Yeah, so it's actually like a really simple, non-sexy answer, because I've tried to like split lead costs with realtors. Hasn't really worked, to be honest. Yeah. We have a relationship because we're an in-house lender for a local RE/MAX here. We have a great relationship with them where we are splitting leads with them, but that's a larger operation. We're talking about like they're running like 70 some agents. So like it's just a different scale than if I was just going to do that with one agent, right? Now, I'm not trying to say that I wouldn't do that kind of thing, because I would. In the right circumstance where I trust the agent and they have a good game plan around it, sure. But I've seen that fall short. And that was many a time. That was just one example. Right. I know. But I get that question a lot, so I thought it was worth mentioning. Sure. But the non-sexy answer to your question is, I'm here as a lending resource who is going to do right by you and your clients. I'm always going to be there to answer your questions and pick up the phone. I'm always going to be the person trying to go the extra mile to make sure that everyone's good. It's going to make you look good. Mm-hmm. It's still your business, right? I might be able to feed you a lead every now and then, but it's not going to be enough to live off of. Right. It's your business. I might just be like a little sprinkle, like a little icing on the cake for you. Yeah. But I'm here as your vendor who's going to make you look good from the lending side so that they leave that experience going, man, him and his team were awesome. Yep. I'm calling him back on the next round. Another way that probably holds a lot of value, if I were a realtor, would hold value for me, is maybe collabing on some pieces of content. Oh, yeah. Well, that's another reason why I wanted to be here. Sorry, I forgot the shout out. Yeah. Absolutely. But for real, I mean, if you, especially when you've had like a hard situation, like a hard deal that you worked on and got over the finish line. Yeah. Bringing them in to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, and it highlights both of you. You know, and it's not just past, you know, like one thing. There could be a whole bunch of ways to do it, but I think definitely being able to sit down and talk about the challenges and how you overcame it.
Yeah.
I think that is some good value, especially because a lot of them aren't doing what you're going to be doing this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the collab on content's huge. I am very much looking forward to bringing people in here and just talking shop, shooting the shit. Like, just putting good stuff out there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. I think we got quite a bit of stuff in there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so
Cool.
this was great. We ask every guest at the end to send us off with a positive message to the world.
Positive message to the world. Okay. You can literally do anything. Just know that it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
But you can literally do anything. You can be the difference you want to see. You can make differences. If you think the world could be better in some way, try to do your part.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You make me want to go run through a freaking brick wall, man, right now.
Thanks.
Bringing the heat today.
Yeah.
Dude, that was awesome.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
All right. Cool.
Sweet.